Or do I need to wait? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start with single displacement. Now, some books call it single replacement. It means the exact same thing. It doesn't matter if they call it displacement or replacement. It is the exact same type of reaction. Depends on the author of the text or the question as to which one they refer to it as. It's one and the same. So, what is a single replacement reaction? Single displacement or replacement is an element plus a compound, and you get an element plus a compound. Now, how are you going to be able to tell that a reaction is an element plus a compound, and you get an element plus a compound? An element is going to have how many capital letters? 1. A compound has to have how many capital letters? At least 2. It might have 3, but it has to have 2 capitals. Okay? So an element has 1 capital, and a compound has to have 2 capitals. Now, the thing that makes it a displacement reaction is 2 elements change places. Okay? Make sure you notice Mr. Louder there.
I did. He said to wait a second, so I guess I kind of.
Yeah, he's tired now.
Wore him out.
You know, he's not going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because of his teeth. So
Right.
he's resting up.
Maybe Tuesday he'll suck it all in.
Maybe. Jake.
Wake up.
Okay? Everybody caught up? It's okay. I teach it next semester too. But you never know. You get Mr. Moore. I hear he's easier. Now, NA has how many capitals? 1. So that would be a what? That'd be an element. MgBr2 has how many capitals? So that's a compound. This has how many capitals? So that's a compound. And that has how many capitals? So that's an element. Now, can anybody tell me what switch places? You don't have to figure that out, okay? I'm just curious if you can figure it out. The who and the MG? It's actually the NA and the MG. Okay, you don't have to know that. It's not important for our class. I was just curious. Okay? You just have to be able to figure out the type of reaction. All right, does everybody have what they need, or do I need to wait? Yeah, I see a couple of people still writing. All right, the second type is called double displacement. So, its other name is replacement. Now, this one has a compound plus a compound, and you get a compound plus a compound. What makes this one different from the last one? There's no elements. Everything has to have what? Everything has to have 2 elements, right? Everything has to have 2 capitals, right? You have to have 2 capitals here, and you have to have 2 capitals there, okay? Everything has two capitals. Everything. Now, because I said replacement, two elements have to do what? They have to switch places. So this is what you're going to be doing in a couple minutes, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to let you do the activity. Because this makes much more sense in trying to figure out the types if you actually do the activities. Now, that would be double displacement. So if you look at the example, how many capitals do you have in each of those? There's two. All right, does everybody have it? All right, so the next type is called synthesis. Okay? Now, this forms one compound. Okay? We're going to make one compound. Now, the easiest way to figure this out is there's no plus sign on the right side of the arrow. Okay? So when you're looking at this, there will be no plus sign on the right side of the arrow. Now, if I go back for just a second, how many plus signs did this one have? How many plus signs does single displacement have? One on this side, one on this side. So single displacement has how many plus signs? Double displacement has how many plus signs? How many plus signs is synthesis going to have? Synthesis is only going to have one plus sign. Okay? You're going to have a plus sign right here. So you can have any combination of elements and compounds. But over here, you're only going to have what? One compound. You are not going to have anything with a plus sign over here. Okay? So here's an example. How many plus signs do we have in that reaction? One. Okay, you cannot have two plus signs in synthesis. Get off your phone. There's another example. Okay, how many plus signs do you have? One. Why are we yelling, idiots? All right, the last type we're going to work with, because I'm skipping combustion, is decomposition. To decompose means you have to break apart. Okay? One compound has to break down, which means there's no plus sign on the left side of the arrow. There's no plus sign on the left of the arrow. All right, so this time you're going to start with one compound and it's going to break down into any combination of elements and compounds. So we might see something like those two. Now, this time, we have no plus sign on the left. Here, William, come here. I'm going to play it on the phone. Make yourself useful. Actually, I didn't run it off because I wasn't going to do it. I got to make copies. I decided against it yesterday, and I decided to do it. It's terrible to be this indecisive. All right, while that runs, let me talk about what we're going to do. Everybody got it? All right. So you're going to have a sheet of paper. It's going to have a whole bunch of A, B, C's, D's on it. You're going to have to create on your piece of construction paper. All right? Single displacement. 2 examples. Double displacement. 2 examples. Synthesis. 2 examples. And decomposition. 2 examples. Okay? Everybody with me so far? So you're going to do 8 examples, 2 of each. Now, each of them's worth 10 points. So that's only 80 points. As long as one of them's right, you get 20 points for free. Okay? Now, from there, you've got a list of ions. Okay? One of them has A's, B's, C's, and D's. One of them has Na, Cl, Al, and Br. Okay? So you're going to take your first example, and you're going to use, you can use the A's, B's, the C's, and the D's. All right, so for single displacement, looking at your notes, what do we got to start with to do single displacement? An element. So an element is how many capitals? pick an element. All right, B. Okay, so there's our element. Plus, make me a compound. A and C. Okay. Now, according to your notes, what do we do with those? They do what? They switch. So pick two elements and switch them. Okay, I hear B and I hear A. So these two things are switching. So what happens when they switch? Okay, so A with who? By himself, right? And then B with C. Are you with me? That's all you got to do. Now, you cannot use that one. Now, let's say, all right, that was single. Let me go get my copies. Now, the second example, okay? The second example, you'll do with the Na, the Al, the Cl, and the Br, okay? Now, let's say we do a different one, though. Let's say, and I'm going to leave this up here so y'all can toggle through it if you need to. All right, let's say you do synthesis. All right, and we'll do it with the Na, the Al, the Cl, and the Br. All right, what did y'all say that has to be? Look at your notes. What does synthesis have to be? You have to do what? I know, I'm not telling you. You just took notes for a reason. You have to do what with them? Raul, what do you have to do with synthesis? Did you write it down? Okay. Zaya, what do we have to do with synthesis? Form a compound. From what? Okay, we can do it from elements. All right, so give me an element. Charisma. Cl. All right. Plus, give me another element, Janiyah. All right. What compound do they make? Chase. Put them together. What do they make when you put those two things together? What do they make when you put them together? Yep. That's it.
Wow.
Got it? Literally. That's all I meant. Y'all don't have to figure out oxidation terms, crisscross, or any weird stuff. Literally, just put them together. Okay? You got it?
Okay.
All right, William. Here, Nathaniel, you're going to do one. William can do the other. All right. On the back table is the piece of paper you're going to do them on. I don't care if you do it horizontally or vertically. All right. Great. If you take down, take 0. I'll take out this one series for a minute. All right. The instructions on the back paper. A back table, the scissors and glue are back there. Please throw your scrap paper in the trash. It is 12:20. You do not have until 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, you are done. Finished or not. Okay? Everybody good with that? The longer you take, the less you get done. You socialize at 1 o'clock, you're finished. At 1:20 today, we are done with types. Okay? Yep, those are the letters you use. And Nathaniel, hey, you might want to wait till you have both papers. It's easier for everybody to have both papers before you get up. So if you only have one paper, stay put. Make sure you've got a paper from Nathaniel and William.
Hey,
Don't force it. If you don't do it, then we'll do it. It's like fourth period. We don't force anybody.
Did you give me one?
Did you give each other one?
Yep. Everybody got some?
Thank you. Thank you.
How come I get one? I'll only get one.
Do you have one of each?
No, I'm guessing this. William gave me that, but he didn't give this.
Were you out of your chair when he came by?
Say yes.
Probably.
We do 2 examples of each one.
You're doing 2 examples of each one. That's correct.
It don't matter.
Huh?
I gave him mine. Old belt pass.
You did very well. Oh yeah, but I still have absenteeism that I'm trying to get down.
I got some.
Feel free to motivate him, Ms. Blackwell. He doesn't even want to participate in the activity.
I got you. This one.
Grab your computer. Grab your computer and go ahead and grab your 2 balls. Save your sign.
You can do
Would you like one? Huh? It's an activity. That's great.
I found a chemical change.
What?
I found a chemical change.
You found a chemical change? There are probably lots of those in the room.
Why is your guest?
Because I got to demonstrate it for 4th period, because their class is shorter than y'all's on Friday. Papers?
Pick one example.
Everything else is on back there.
That's what I'm gonna do for single displacement, because you need an element and a compound. Hold Oh, yeah, that's nice. Elements and compounds thinking. That's what I was trying to tell you. Like, Girl, I had a whole slow, I had a slow mo for like 30 minutes. Nobody knows. I get brain dump that shit. People like, I just want to see one. Nah, that's it's element and a compound.
Yeah, like what she doing?
Oh, yeah. That's what you was talking about. Like you use egg.
No, we don't use one of them.
I'm having a slow world.
Yeah, right now I'm working on this. Nobody said you start that. I
We do all them shit.
Don't we just like, yeah, don't we?
Me neither. I'm the only person that I want to be cocky, but it's easy to play and I'm so good. Oh my fucking God, bro. What if for single displacement? Thank you. I could have used one of these. I did capital and this one capital. This I see what I did wrong now, y'all. Because this is a capital and a lowercase. You know, if you have to but this glue don't ever want to stick, but now I want to stick. Actually need to replace it. Petty ass. The one that you, yeah. So basically, you did it right. Yeah, you got
Because she doesn't want to love. I mean, she doesn't want to love. And she already did it. She's going to put them together. It's really like, you board.
Because she old. She just looks like that. There's nothing that I can get into. My mama cool. My mama like a cool mama stuff. It's cool. My mama girl. But it's like, girl.
So this will go to
I'm cool with it. Every day like me a lot. And then What I was like, you don't go play bingo? No, I'm not gonna be in there. Bingo, no. It was my friends sitting in there playing. You can try to put me on snap, they get embarrassing. That's not friendship. You know what I'm saying? No, it's letting them see.
Hey.
No, it's not. I cannot, yeah, I'm not doing it. As long as his daddy like, so I don't need him on the like. I made her my because I was just happy and I made her hey, how you doing? I said, hey, how you go? No, he said, I love you. And he said, and then I didn't my time go for you all. And she always tells my job, she always smiling at me. But it's like, I don't know, I don't have to be like, so you don't go play bingo tonight, or I'm going to church, you want to go with me? Because I don't know. I'm not doing it. So you go play bingo with your thank you. It's embarrassing. I'm not playing bingo with you. So I was like, you think you? I was like, what's going on? Stop lying. What time is it now? Okay. Mine, I gain weight, then I lose it, then I gain, then I lose it. Right now it's not. It's gonna come back. I went to the same exact thing I did to the first one, to the second one, to So should I just bring the video here? So I did that. Yeah. But it's right there. For this one, I was. I can use anyone. As long as it's not the same way. Did your mama tell? Did your mama?
This is not a game.
You cute, Jonathan?
Grace, what you found out?
I made it post. Yes, but you don't get it out.
Y'all have about 22 minutes.
You said we got 2 minutes.
22.
Oh, I got it.
Y'all can have right at about half.
I really. You straight, like the way you did yours is right. No, mine's on the Naya, no, Naya. You gotta be 2 capitals. 1 capital. This is right, but this, well, these right. But this, it gotta be 2 capitals.
You talk about how she did it.
For single, it has to be an element and a compound. So this one, the first one is right with these. They gotta be 2 capitals. They be big A. My baby daddy. My baby daddy. Bruh. Okay, never mind. I did it right. I did it If I didn't have to cut these out, I would have been done.
Hey, can you sign this?
Right. We could have been some. That was already put out.
That's like $100 for one.
Years ago, they tried to watch. When I was in school, me and Dave kept saying it, and my mom was getting mad because he didn't know what was talking about. And I was like, years ago, they tried to use it.
Oh, you done.
Put me in the was 80s, so why you gonna say you can get your rap? Oh my God. I said he was like years ago. They tried to.
I was so shocked. I was like, I didn't know. I was like, okay.
Nah, but them little girls don't say dance that's a Korean song. They had a lot of confidence.
Oh,
Go ahead, girl. They're like Princess Uncle. Nobody. They look good as Princess Uncle. They're Princess Uncle. I care. Every time.
Oh, you just put three. One that means I don't want to keep on.
Oh, maybe you know her.
I was like, wow.
She called herself Mimi. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, Mimi will crackhead Nora. We got bacon cheeseburger.
So you combine. Okay.
I'm mad that she already done with one too.
She's like.
I wrote that and it's creative a little bit. How many are you doing? 4? And 4? Or 6? No, it's 5. What's the 5th? Both of the elements. I'm gonna start using I'm at 97 on my chest. It's on my class. I got nasty. This class, he makes shit real simple. He that nigga, so he be cussing. You gotta shut the hell up. Come on. If anybody got a straw, I got a next. Because everybody keeps telling me that a straw they fast. See, not a good session.
But she very good. She'll like if you stay after tutoring, she'll like slow down. She's like she reteaches.
You got.
You stayed at home.
Oh, and then you read it. Oh, so this is gonna be C1. Oh, so you have a whole one.
Yeah.
Oh, so everything gets
Oh, okay. I got a story to tell you.
What's that about?
No, we only need like 4 of these customers.
Miss Wall,
Yep.
did you make are you making us cut this out just like to add time to us doing it?
No, but how am I supposed to get to the letter?
We could just run down.
How hard is it to cut out letters?
It's just time consuming.
They don't have to be the next things on the plat. Chop, chop.
We as girls. Everything gotta be.
They really don't for the purposes of what you're doing today.
Why is this so time consuming? Anyway.
And then,
Yeah.
can I just write them in and then, fill them in later because I ain't gonna be able to fill them all in.
How many do you have done?
I have, first one.
You've only done one?
No, like I took the first set down.
That's sort of pitiful. In 30 minutes?
Well, I had to cut all these out. Like I filmed all that so I can have them here. That's, I've been working on something. I haven't been talking about it.
I guess.
I ain't even gonna lie. I just started. I just got the amount
I ain't know that. My ain't down. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. It's the only one that I can see on who was worthy. That's how
They're gonna lose to the Rams.
What are we celebrating? Oh, gosh. You can.
Maybe a second. Thanks a bit here. Got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, honey, I will be done.
I told you, you only get to 1 o'clock.
Oh, this the last day? This the
Yeah.
first and last day?
Yeah, this is what I have to do.
That's correct. That's it. I mean, you got glued down.
Can I write them down?
Write them down.
Thank you, really, Mimi. I'm done.
But I better not get 6 of the same papers over there.
No, we don't.
You can't glue, right. Although I do have 2 papers that are finished gluing. Right on the front. Much easier to put the computer if your name's on the front, because that's what we're writing with.
I do have your face.
No, because you did.
Okay, and just take the rest that you have.
Wow, what are you doing today anymore?
We go today.
Oh, so something is. C A D, and the right side, C plus D.
Okay.
When it don't have a plus sign, do we connect them or you leave space? For synthesis, just leave it like how it is. So we don't crisscross.
You should have it washed.
That guy.
And we just, and we just like,
No.
what do you call it? Like switches?
For instance,
And the one is a picture, you just roll.
then what's the one I should like C and B. I got C and
That means it's 1 o'clock.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I need what you got done. And I need you to clean up the mess you made.
I'm literally doing the
Watch your language over there.
Just what I'm literally doing the last one.
All right, bring me what you got, clean up. You got stuff to do. I told you. Y'all aren't coming next week after the exam, so we only have this week. I know how the mass exodus works. So bring me what you got.
But how did you do the last one?
It's the same thing as single distribution, but it's just
So like even
Come on, bring me your papers.
So I got A, and then I got, so I put this AR, and then put
Clean up the mess you made.
But I'm working AR.
On the desk over there. Let me see a
I
stack.
thought this was.
Can't miss them.
There's no place around on the left side right now. It's my left. This, I'm just, this is rest. So, this is yours. So you put your combo. It has to be 2 letters. Yeah. So my combination here
Oh, ready, let's go.
C-L-E-R-A.
Go on, clean up your mess. Glue, scissors, put it back. Bring me your paper. Make sure your name's on it. We're not getting 2 minutes. Hold y'all 1 o'clock.
I should have seen. It's quicker for me to put it all down. I said I don't know.
I do not want all those little papers. Do not give me all those little papers.
I'm doing this. See how many
Unless you're planning on doing this at lunch, I do not need it. Great, Anna Lucia, Alexa, let's go.
What did you do, bro?
Did you do any work?
Yeah.
You turn it in?
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Somebody call me.
Good. Exactly. All right. So now we want to hopefully take what you've learned and see if we can apply it to some equations to figure out what type of reaction it is. Don't make me yell at you. So, looking at the reaction that's on the board, how should you go about figuring out which type it is? The easiest thing to do is to count the plus signs. How many plus signs are there? So, if there's only one plus
Quick
sign,
clarification for our SGA students, your meeting is Tuesday and not today, so it does not conflict with the AP celebration this afternoon. Thank you.
if there's only one plus sign, it has to either be synthesis or decomposition. It cannot be single displacement or double displacement if it only has one plus sign. So, is that compound breaking down, or is it forming something? Okay, I hear a breaking down, I hear a forming. Okay, so when you look at it, are these two elements together and splitting apart into this plus this, or are they apart and it says something plus something and it makes something? It's together. This is all combined. There's no plus sign between it. It's all one compound, and it breaks apart into this plus this, okay? So it's splitting apart. That's how you know it's decomposition. All right? When you look at this one, to emphasize the difference, all right? How many plus signs do you have? Only one. So again, it's either synthesis or it's decomposition. So when you look at this time, is this compound splitting apart or is it forming one compound? It's forming one. This time the plus sign is on the left. This time K and Cl are together, so it's forming something. Do you see the difference in where the plus signs are? Or am I the only one that sees that? No? Y'all see it too? All right. When you look at my next example, How many plus signs do I have here? If you have 2 plus signs, it's either single or it's double. Okay? 2 plus signs be either synthesis and decomposition or out. So, do you have an element? If you have a single element, it's single. If you have all compounds, it's double. So you're looking to see, do you have a single capital letter by itself? If you have a single capital letter by itself, it makes it single. If you don't, then it's double. So when you look here, is this a single letter by itself? As soon as you nod yes at me, that tells you a single displacement. When you look here at number 4, okay, how many plus signs do you have? 2. It's either single displacement or it's double displacement. How many capitals do you have in all of those? Do you have any single elements anywhere? That automatically makes it double. Are you with me? Okay. I have 3 more. I want you to see if you can figure out what those 3 more are. Actually, take out number 5. I didn't teach that one. Praying it's not on the test. Look at 6 and 7 and see if you can figure it out. I can show you combustion if you want to know real quick. Yeah. All right, what do you think 6 is? All right, I hear a vote for synthesis. What do we think? How many plus signs do we have? We only have 1, so it either has to be synthesis or it has to be what? Or it has to be decomposition. All right? Are we forming something or is it breaking apart? We're forming. That's why it's synthesis. All right, and number 7, how many plus signs do we have? So it's either single displacement or it's double displacement. Do I have any single elements? So that means it has to be double displacement. Questions? All right, real quick, in case they do put this on the exam. I don't know if they will or not. If you see combustion, combustion is this. It's a hydrocarbon plus oxygen, you get carbon dioxide and water. Basically, look for this. It always ends in CO2 plus water. If you get something that ends in CO2 plus water, it's combustion. Okay? It always ends the same way. I don't think they'll put that on the exam. But if it is, that's what it is. All right, we're going to try some practice. See if we can figure out which is which. Now, if you want to abbreviate, SD is what? Single displacement. DD is double displacement. S is synthesis. D is decomposition. Okay, we're doing 1 through 15. Do not do the balancing section. We do not learn balance equations. Okay? I want you to look at them, and I want you to figure out the topics. You put cards up and do practice.
Different type of work.
Yeah. It does work.
Put your knife on your room table. All right, look at 1 through 15. Find the type. go. Fine. Fine. Plus signs we have. We have any single elements. Good. Plus signs you got. Double displacement. Do you have any single elements? That's automatic displacement. That's the question. Well, you can do the types, but I don't want you to do it with 15. So you look here. And plus that you got. First off, you have any single elements anywhere in there. That's automatically which one of those. Yep. Same thing for one of them. You have any single elements anywhere in there. So instead of double, it's what? Yes. Yep. Question? That's a question. So we got one plus sign. So let's do synthesis. It's breaking apart or forming something. So now this is together. And over here it's separate. This is breaking apart.
On this, we'll break it apart.
Yep. That makes sense. All right, can we look at some answers? We've got about 5 minutes to the bell. All right, and number one. What's happening in number one? Decomposition is breaking apart. Number two is what? Double displacement. You have 2 plus signs. There's no single element, so double displacement. Number three, 2 plus signs. Do you have any single elements there? What's that right there? That's a single element. That's a single element, so that makes it single displacement. All right, and number 4, what do you think here? It's got 2 plus signs. What's zinc? Single element, so it's a single displacement. What about number 5? All right, you got 2 plus signs, and do you have any single elements in there? No, double displacement. Number 6, 2 plus signs. Do you have any single elements? No, double displacement. What about 7? Synthesis. What about 8? Single displacement. 2 plus signs and 2 single elements. CL and BR are both single elements. What about number 9? Single displacement. All right, number 10 is decomposition. You have a plus sign and only one, and that side has a compound breaking apart, so it's decomposition. What about 11? Single displacement. Fe is by itself. That's a single element. What about 12? Double displacement. Number 13. How many pluses do you have in 13? How many pluses are here in 13? Only one, so it's either synthesis or decomposition.
Synthesis.
It's forming something. It's synthesis. All right, number 14. Synthesis. Number 15 is a what? Anybody know? That's combustion. Ends in CO2 plus water. Okay? Now, tomorrow we're going to work on balancing for a very short period of time. Okay? And then we're going to do solubility. Balancing and solubility. Wednesday we're going to do nuclear. Okay? There will be a couple things that I didn't get to thanks to the loss of 6 days.
I can keep it then.